A king faced an impossible choice, duty or desire. The love story that followed would shock the world and forever change the British monarchy. On a lace-covered table, a faded photograph of young Edward, sepia-toned, eyes bright with promise, captures a prince born to rule, yet destined to question everything. Alone, in a grand, dimly lit corridor, Edward stands in regal attire. His reflection shimmers in polished marble, but his gaze is distant, haunted by the weight of tradition and the pull of a changing world. Outside, London pulses with life. Classic cars, neon lights, crowds surging through the city's heart. Edward, isolated in a chauffeured car, watches the world rush by, longing for freedom beyond the palace gates. Glamorous parties and royal splendour on one side, on the other, ordinary Londoners facing hardship. Edward's world is split, luxury and loneliness, duty and desire, all colliding in the glare of history. Night settles over London, shrouding the city in drifting fog and the golden glow of gas lamps. From a palace window, Edward gazes out, his silhouette framed against the moody skyline, classic cars gliding through misty streets below. The city is alive, yet distant, its lights flickering like memories. In this quiet moment, longing and uncertainty linger in the air, a prince adrift between the world he knows and the freedom he craves. The year is 1931. Edward, dashing in his tailored tuxedo, steps into a grand London ballroom. Jazz music floats beneath glittering chandeliers. He scans the crowd, restless, searching, until his gaze lands on a woman unlike any other. Wallis Simpson, American witty, twice divorced, meets his eyes across the room. For a moment the world hushes. "Care to dance?" he asks, voice low, uncertain. She smiles, a spark of mischief in her reply. "Only if you can keep up, Your Highness." They glide onto the dance floor, laughter and whispered secrets swirling between them. Edward's heart pounds. He's never met anyone so bold. Around them, guests murmur, eyes wide with curiosity and envy. Whispers ripple through the crowd. Headlines flash in the mind's eye. Prince and American socialite, scandal brews. Wallis catches her reflection in a gilded mirror, lips curling in defiance. Later, in a shadowed alcove, Edward and Wallis share secrets, hopes, regrets, forbidden dreams. The air is thick with possibility and risk. "They'll never understand us," she whispers. Edward's reply is soft, resolute. "Let them try." Their bond deepens. Handwritten letters, stolen glances, secret rendezvous. Against the odds, romance blooms, daring to challenge law, church and crown. The world outside grows ever more watchful, but inside, their hearts race toward the unknown. In the 1930s, Britain's streets echoed with uncertainty. Jobs were scarce and hope felt distant. Yet, across the globe, the British Empire stretched vast and powerful, its influence touching continents far from home. The monarchy stood as a symbol of stability, its traditions a reassuring presence in troubled times. But beneath the grandeur of Buckingham Palace, tension simmered as Edward's heart pulled him further from royal duty. Alone at the window, Edward gazed into the night, torn between the weight of the crown and the woman he loved. In the hush of a vast candlelit church, Edward VIII kneels alone. Stained glass windows cast fractured colours across his troubled face. The echo of distant organ music fills the air as he bows his head, torn between love and duty. In shadowed council chambers, stern church officials and royal advisers gather. Their faces are half-lit, voices hushed but urgent as they debate Edward's fate. The tension is palpable, every word a weight upon the crown. Meanwhile, Wallis waits in a candle-lit room, her silhouette flickering with hope and fear. She clutches a letter, eyes searching the darkness for a sign. The Prime Minister's voice echoes through the chamber. "You must choose crown or love." Edward paces anxiously, the weight of history pressing down. Headlines spin onto the screen, bold, scandalous, relentless. Crowds gather, faces shocked, as the world learns of the crisis at the heart of the monarchy. In the coloured glow of stained glass, Edward's anguished face fills the frame. A single tear glints as he makes his fateful decision, sacrificing the crown for the woman he loves. On December 11th, 1936, Edward VIII abdicated. Only 325 days on the throne, the shortest reign in modern British history. Paris, 1937. Edward and Wallis arrive beneath the city's golden lights, stepping from a vintage car into the marble glow of a grand hotel. The world they enter is dazzling, but every footstep echoes with the knowledge that they are strangers in a city of dreams. Inside, champagne sparkles and laughter rings out at lavish parties. Yet, amid the glittering crowd, Edward and Wallis drift on the edges, smiling for the cameras, but their eyes searching for each other, for comfort, for home. Outside, the night explodes with camera flashes. Paparazzi swarm the hotel steps, shouting questions, their bulbs strobing like lightning. Edward shields Wallis as they push through the chaos, faces tense, hearts pounding, hunted by a world that will not let them forget. In the hush that follows, they find refuge in each other, dancing alone in a grand empty salon, sharing handwritten letters and quiet breakfasts by the window. For a moment, the world's noise fades, and only their whispered hopes remain. But rumours swell. Secret meetings, political intrigue, whispered betrayals. Newspapers fan the flames, and the world's fascination turns to suspicion. Their love, once a scandal, now becomes a legend shadowed by doubt. Still on a Paris rooftop beneath a velvet sky, Edward and Wallis hold each other close. The Eiffel Tower glows in the distance, the city humming below. Exiled, watched and whispered about, they are together, and for a heartbeat, that is enough. In the silent throne room, sunlight streams through stained glass, casting fractured colours on empty seats of power. Edward's abdication sends shockwaves through the palace, an unthinkable act that leaves the monarchy trembling on the edge of uncertainty. A royal crown rests on velvet, untouched. Then, in flickering black and white, George VI's anxious face emerges. He was never meant to be king, yet the weight of the crown is thrust upon him. Outside, crowds gather, their faces a blur of hope and fear as the nation holds its breath. In the shadows, a young Princess Elizabeth watches her father's coronation, wide-eyed, uncertain, the future of the monarchy written across her face. The ceremony unfolds with solemn grandeur, but beneath the pageantry, the royal family is forever changed. Through the haze of time, Edward's silhouette dissolves into George VI, then into a radiant Queen Elizabeth II. The monarchy is transformed, scarred, resilient, and reborn. The echoes of one man's choice ripple through generations, shaping a legacy that endures to this day. Some see a timeless romance, others a cautionary tale, yet their story endures, a scandal that reshaped the British monarchy. Like, subscribe and ring the bell for more untold stories.